Well, dear friends, it's an honor for me to present you a friend of mine since some years ago, working on this membership task area. So let me introduce you. Hugo has worked in the field of philanthropic for over 25 years. He served as social development project coordinator in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where he designed and implemented a comprehensive development plan for rural communities focused on agriculture, health, and educational projects with an emphasis on women empowerment, something that I really like it. More recently, he was director of complementary programs of Becalus. Those are scholarships of Televisa Foundation, where he developed a strategic partnership, designed evaluation methods, created new programs, and leveraged social media to promote online educational opportunities for unserved young professionals. He's currently part of the Rotary staff, serving as regional membership officer for zones 23B and 25A. So this is in this part of the world. Hugo holds a bachelor degree in communication science and master degree in social communication from Complutense University of Madrid, Spain. I'm sure that our guest will complement us with new options to increase membership, not just in Rotary, but also in our fellowship. Please, you will be able to present your questions or comments at the end of your talk. So please, Hugo.
Thanks so much, Leticia, and hello, everyone. Let me start sharing my screen. And just please let me know if you can see the screen, but not the presenters view, but the regular one. Okay, let me try this.
It's okay.
All right. Okay. So you can see my screen now, right? The presentation. All
yes,
right.
We
well,
can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, friends, for this invitation. I'm really excited because this is the first time that I get to interact with a Rotary Fellowship. I've seen a lot of them in the internet, and I was just hoping to get to know more about it. So maybe at some point I'll be the one that will ask you, friends, a couple of questions. So I'm pretty sure for some of them, I'm starting the day. It's around 8 a.m. in Mexico, but I'm pretty sure some of them are finishing your day. So I'll try to make this as interactive as possible. My name is Hugo Sancen. I work for Rotary International. I'm a regional membership officer for zones 23B and 25A. That's all Spanish-speaking countries in the Americas, right? And first of all, when I see this mix of nations and languages, and the first thing I think is Rotary's number one asset or value is based on you, friends. Just imagine all the knowledge, all the experience that comes from you and your lives and your different contexts. To me, it's really rich, and it's one of the biggest things that we need to explore and to explode, right? So where are you connecting from? Why don't you put in the chat, like your name. You probably know everyone in the chat for me. So if you can share just your country, something you want to share about. What's your club's name, for example? What time is it over there where you are? And I wonder, how do you greet? I know this is, let's try to learn something new. So how do you greet or how do you salute in your country? You know, you use a word, do you use a gesture, do you use a handshake, do you hug, are you distant? How do you do that? Why don't you share that in the chat room, please, in the chat box, sorry. And all right, awesome. Well, my friends, I'll be reading all of this later on because I'm pretty sure there's some interesting things. But um, just to talk about shocking cultures and how different we are, but at the same time, there are things that brings us together, right? In Tibet, you know, it's really funny because this in my country might be considered unpolite. But if you go to Tibet, actually, sticking out your tongue is a sign of polite greeting, you know? So I just wanted to share that thought with you. Like we're different, and that's okay. That's also rich, right? We speak different languages, we think different ways of thinking, but at the same time, Rotary is a common thing that we all share, and that is amazing, right? So let's talk about membership. You know, this is the uncomfortable topic. No, I'm just kidding. So we all know, right, that Rotary's number one priority at this point in its history is growing our membership, but not just growing membership, but also engaging our membership. You know, it's not the same thing. And because I see a lot of great leaders bringing new people to Rotary, and that's not really a problem. Bringing new people to Rotary is not really the problem. What's happening is that we're bringing new people, but we're losing people. So what you're going to see right now is the last 20 years of membership history in Rotary International. And as you can say, in 2004, we were around 1.193 million people, right? And now we're down to 1.134 more or less. So this is worrying, fellows, and we need to start, you know, posing questions and start asking ourselves, how can I pitch in? You know, how can I, Letty, how can I BJ, how can I Ken? You know, what can I do from my side of the screen, you know, to help Rotary to increase the membership? And first of all, why do we want to grow our membership? You know, because sometimes we take actions and we start moving things, but we don't really believe or we don't really know what we're doing it, you know, and it is important to realize that that Rotary is an opportunity, and we will talk about it. All right. What you're seeing now is club creation rates. This is the how do you call it, the trends for new club creation. So it is funny because in one side we're losing members in the clubs that we have, but we are increasing our membership by creating new clubs. So that gives us a lot to talk about. What's happening in our clubs that we are not growing but losing members? And why are we having this need to create new clubs to grow our membership? You know, these are great questions to ask. So we work the membership in two fronts, right? One is how do we keep our members? And the other one is how do we attract them? How do we attract new members? So on the one side, we're working with the ones we have, which is very important not to lose members that we have. But on the other hand, we need to bring new people. So we have to prepare. And that's two different jobs, honestly. So I don't want to focus for this conversation on engagement or conservation. I heard in different places. That will be another time. That's a whole different topic, and that will take us like the entire session. Where I want to focus is more in what you are, the Rotary Fellowships, you know, and when I start studying a little bit more about the fellowships, I really think Rotary Fellowships is the diamond in the rough. And what does that mean? What is a diamond in the rough? A diamond in the rough is something very, very valuable, you know, that is waiting to be shaped, is waiting to be discovered, is waiting for someone to make it beautiful and valuable, right? And that is Rotary Fellowship, because at this point, perhaps some people just see it as, well, it's just Rotarians getting together and share something in common, you know? But shouldn't this be a way to increase our membership as well? I wonder, if we, because something that the pandemic and the confinement actually help is to people start valuing giving more value to their time and how they spend it. So I don't know if you noticed, but after the pandemic, we start creating all these new social groups. I like chess, there's a chess club. I like to run, there's a running club. We needed to socialize. We spent a year and a half, probably 2 years in some places without any connections but the internet. So I wanted to present this friend. Well, not really friend, but I love what he's sharing and what he's teaching right now. His name is Steven Pinker. He has a TED Talk. If you want to check him out, he's really, I love this format of a few minutes. No more than 12 or 14 minutes for a TED Talk. But Steven Pinker asked himself one thing. He started noticing that the world was quite negative. Like when he was sitting with the family or friends, he started noticing the conversations were mainly negative, like if everything was wrong in the world. I wonder how many of you, if you want to react on the with a little hand or something, how many of you get this sense, that around you people are being a little more negative than usual. It's like there's always a problem. We focus on negative things that are happening across the world, and it is okay to be aware of them, but to make them your problem, it's a different story. How do you live in your life? So he started asking, is it the world that bad? Is it the world better? Was it better before, or is it better now? Why are people so mad, these days? Why are people suffering so much these days? So he started wondering this question, is the world better now, or was it better before? How do you measure that? How do you measure if the place where we live in, this planet where we live in at this moment in our history, is better or worse? So he started thinking, well, we need some measurements. We need some KPIs, some might say. Uh, Perhaps the death rate, has it increased? Has a disease? Perhaps how much access do you have to medical services or to health services? Or how much access do you have to transportation? And it's not that the world is better or worse. Maybe our world is really good, but maybe we're not sharing all that wealth, and it's not really well distributed in our world right now. So he starts studying all these things, and he found out, and he talks in this TED Talk, his findings, and in context is, we have never had, as human beings, a better world than the one we're living in right now. And we might say, yes, Hugo, but there is war happening, and there is all these concerns happening, and global climate change and all. Yes, but even though we're suffering all this happenings, we never had that much access to all the things to be well. So the world that we're living in the majority is the place where we have everything that people didn't have before to be happy. I mean, we can take a plane and move somewhere else. I mean, we can move in a run in about hours when before it was really a problem. We have access to hospitals or stores and I know it's not the same all over the world. I know there are difference, but even in those places, I'm pretty sure in the last 5 years, there's been some development. So there is a newspaper that is really old in Mexico, and I heard this from a Rotarian. He writes in this old newspaper, well, almost disappearing. The newspapers now is News Digital, right? So this newspaper had more than 100 years as selling newspapers, and so in the offices they start printing like really interesting and shocking first page portraits of this really specific history moments, right? So man arrived in the moon, and boom, there was our, this kind of things. And he was shocked when he saw this old newspaper, this old headline that says, 33 old fellow died by being run over by the train something. So he was like 33 years old, and he was considered an old fellow, like and he was like, man, really? And we start looking like, okay, so the life expectancy also changed. We're living longer lives than before, right? So Steven Pinker comes to that conclusion. The world is better now, and the world has never had so many things to make human being happy. It's easier to get everything, so people should be happy. But guess what, my friends? We are also living in the saddest world, in the most problematic with health, mental problems in our history. So human, even though we have all these things, we have never suffered that much anxiety, depression, all these mental health conditions. And I'm really proud and happy that at some point our past president, Gordon McNally, actually focused on this matter, because it is an issue. So why are human beings living in almost with everything they need, but at the same time they are feeling and they're having these problems? So I kind of connected these dots and start asking, well, that's true. It is difficult. Technology has also changed human beings. And this is a topic that we can talk a lot of time. But I ask myself, with this information, what are we looking for? What does human being are seeking right now? So I would love for you to give me some thoughts in the chat box. What do you think human beings are seeking at this point? And let me see if I can see the chat over here. All right. Oh, people from Indonesia. Awesome. Benin. Namaste. Nice. Uganda. Wow. Okay, so what is people looking for? What does humans are seeking at this moment in their history? Come on, give me some feedback in the chat. Peace in the world. Awesome, Letty. What else? Peace of mind is different. Nice one. Love and praise and peace, connections and meaning. Nice. Thank you for sharing, friends. Well, guess what? Now we have something, that's called artificial intelligence, or Google or Wikipedia or whatever. But it's supposed to know everything that human beings know, because we give information to the internet, right? We feed the information to the internet, and the internet just has all this information. So I cannot say, like, you know what, I'm gonna ask artificial intelligence, what does the human being seek? Because supposedly a lot of humans, we have talk about these things, and it is on the internet. And the results are finding, listen to this. Human beings are seeking, first of all, to know, to learn, to grow through their knowledge, because knowledge is power, right? Second, they look to connect. They are social beings, and they look for friends, to feel a company, to feel part of something, to socialize, to have fun. Number three, they want to transcend. They want to find a meaning. They want to believe that their presence in the world had a meaning, and it was because of something. Does that sound anything familiar to you? Those three things. And to me, that is Rotary's offer, if you think about it. We are an organization, and it doesn't mean that it happens in all the clubs. I don't want to make stereotypes or generalize, but clubs should offer those three things, and I think a lot of them do. Actually, they are great at creating parties and celebrating birthdays and having this fundraising events that are really great moments to connect and to know each other. So we have that social part. Sometimes they bring someone to give a conference and to learn, or we try to make business inside Rotary. That's also good. That's growing. That's becoming a leader in my community. That's me gaining more money to help with, to have a better, to have wellness in my life, but also the opportunity to serve and to share my passion to make the difference with other fellows. So, my friends, we are already doing all these things. I don't know if you understand my frustration. We don't have to go and look for reinvent the wheel. We already do that, and that's what it sounded so familiar. So we're kind of like an option, right? And next, I want to show you why we should be the
Every
option.
life is a tapestry of moments, a complex weave of experiences and circumstances. But the pattern isn't random. It is shaped by choices. We often focus on long journeys and grand strategies. Yet, the most significant transformations, the pivots that redefine everything, they begin with a single, deliberate choice. One decision holds immense power. Making that pivotal decision isn't always simple. Doubt can cloud judgment. Fear can paralyze action. Comfort can whisper reasons to stay still. But true strength lies in choosing despite the resistance. That one decision is not an endpoint. It is a catalyst. It sets off a chain reaction, influencing subsequent actions and opportunities, creating a powerful, positive ripple effect through your life. What is that one decision calling to you? The one that feels right, yet challenging? The one that aligns with your deepest aspirations? The one that unlocks your next level? Don't wait for perfect conditions. Your future is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. You hold the pen that writes your story. Today, choose courage over comfort. Choose action over hesitation. Embrace the incredible power of one decision. Make it now.
So, my friends, to me, this video is just a way of and I hope the sound was good. I wasn't sure if it was if you heard it right, but at least you could have read it. So, if you think about it, how many decisions that you used to make, in person or something like that, you start doing on the internet. Now, let's get into this topic. Your fellowship as Rotarians on the internet. If you think about it, a lot of our decisions are now made in the internet. Think about it. Think how many decisions you're making on the internet every single day. How many choices we make on the internet now. We take on the internet now. So if you think about it, and I love that picture that says that one, because I always think of a person that arrives to Rotary is something that is holding one of these grains, one of these pieces of a machine that is waiting to fit on the right place and move it and turn it and make this whole infrastructure start working and make it better. So I always tell people, that Rotary is a mean to an end, and Rotary, it's an option, but we need to start approaching and show people why Rotary is the choice, right? And that's where you come in. Rotarians on the internet, right? How can you use the internet to help RI increase the membership? And for this, I would like to more than write something on the chat box. I would like people actually to share something. Let's keep under 2 minutes participations, but I would love to hear you, to answer this question. Do you think the internet could help our organization grow? If so, how? Please share a little bit with me. If you can raise your hand or let me know, just 1 minute thought, 2 minutes thought, whatever, you know, just a small comment. Do you think the internet and everything that lives in could help Rotary to grow? If so, how? Okay, Vidya, please. I don't know if I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right.
It was absolutely pronounced right. So,
Awesome.
I think one of our goals as a Rotary fraternity is also to look at people, one, women as well as younger people, and they are all over on the internet. So, definitely, it's a great way to enhance our membership. Only thing is, they're looking at being engaged rather than passively consuming information. So, whatever we are already doing as activity, or if we could meaningfully add on to the activity where we can also engage the community. For example, the projects that we put, but if we close it with saying, have you seen this in the community? Have you experienced this? And encourage them to be part of those stories. I'm sure somebody seeing it twice or thrice will say, hey, how can I be part of it? But I think that's where we are right now, just telling or showcasing or saying, I did this, rather than saying, this is happening and what is your side of the story. So I think we can definitely increase membership. We're doing that in our efforts here. However, that's something that I thought we can really share.
Thank you so much for sharing, Vidya. Anyone else? All right, so we'll move to the next one. So totally, I mean, if we start spending time or asking ourselves this question, I'm pretty sure we can come up with a lot of ideas on how can we use the internet to help Rotary grow, you know, and grow your own fellowship as the internet, you know, Rotarians on the internet. But I want to share a couple of them with you, and I'm pretty sure for some of you this is nothing new, but I want to share this couple of ideas. You know, I think social media has really gave us the opportunity to be present. It gives us a voice to speak out, you know, even to scream something, everyone, you know, and to be seen and to be heard and to be maybe criticized and maybe congratulated, you know. The thing is, and this is the problem with social media, we are one small voice and all these millions of people around you who are also screaming to the same people. If we want to give a message, you're competing with thousands and millions of people to get that message delivered. And there are other messages that are trying to arrive to the same people, you know? But we have to acknowledge that at least we have the voice and at least we have the thing. So I would like to see on the chat room, I'm going to ask you a question. Why? I mean, first of all, your club has social media channels, either Facebook, X, Instagram, anyone, like a YouTube channel. Yes, no, which ones? I would like to know that first. You know, do you use this social media part of it? Okay, let's read a couple of comments here because this is, to me, really interesting. Yes, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Awesome, Vijay. Yes, most of them. All right, absolutely yes. Okay. Well, now here's another question to follow that one. Why? Why do you have social media in your clubs? Why do you think is social media for? This is different. Okay, so you have social media. Awesome. You have a voice, you know, but what is your voice for in social media? I'd like to know that, you know. Why do you think clubs should have, or how are you using social media in your clubs? Let's hear. To increase the online presence of the club and showcase our work. Awesome. Yes. The physical presence is not an obstacle to share with others, you know, thanks to the internet. Public image. All right. YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, effective public image and communications towards different social segments. Nice. To share our story, friendship. Okay, all of these are true, my friends, but I have a little concern, right? And it's something, trust me, I follow a lot of club websites and pages, and it is part of my work to see, you know, how is Rotary behaving in the social media, and not like a spy to see, but actually to see what's working, you know. And I notice, and many marketing agencies notice the same thing. And once again, I don't want to make a stereotype, but I'll say some, not all, some, but I'll say most of the social media from Rotary, you know, for clubs, districts, zones, even individuals that have their Rotarian Facebook account or Instagram account, they're all missing something, you know. And what they're missing is why. The why I want you to consume this this video, this photo. Why do I want you to bring me to my channel? Why do I want you to hear my voice? You know. And the problem is that we're not telling why. We're just showing pictures, sharing moments, saying Rotary is this, Rotary is that. Here's a picture. We went and this and do this, and we made the service, and we have this amazing event. Yes, but if I am someone who's from outside Rotary, you know, and maybe I have the profile, don't judge me. I mean, maybe I'm a great professionist and I am really successful in my business. And I do help philanthropy and I do help this NGO somewhere, but I don't know any Rotarians. So how am I supposed to be a Rotarian if I don't know any Rotarians, you know? So if you use that voice that you have on social media, maybe you should start considering a call to action. All the posts that you have there should have a meaning, should have a goal. So think about it like, okay, this is my voice. This is why I'm sharing. What do I want from people to react to my voice? Do I want them to share it to someone else? You know, do we want to teach them, you know, and learn something? And I just wonder if Rotarians on the internet, you know, could actually help to educate Rotarians on how to make their voice more noticed, you know, through public image. Do we want to see a video, to see a video podcast or hear a podcast? Do we want them to write us? Do we want them to donate? Do we want them to subscribe? Do we want them to click enjoying Rotary? Do we want them to go to a Google Sheet questionnaire to ask them if they want to be informed on what Rotary does and if they want to see the opportunity of visiting, you know, a club meeting and a Rotary club in their area? But we're losing this part of it, you know. And if you notice, if you consume Facebook, for example, you will see a lot of good content, but it's not been delivered. So the question is here is, do you think social media could be a way to attract new members? And I know this is not for everyone. I know there are clubs that are only by invitation from a Rotarian, and that's okay. That's fair. And each club has the freedom to decide how to engage with new members, right? But if you're one of these clubs that are losing members and all this, you might start thinking, is there people of great value out there who doesn't know a Rotarian, but they are Rotarians? They have the profile. They are like amazing people. They're doing amazing things, but they don't know Rotarians. So how do we get to them? How do we build this bridge, right? And the other thing is, how do we compete, you know, with all these people, all these choices, all these opportunities, all these people, all these thousands of people screaming at the same time from us, you know? How do we define a target? And that, my friends, you know, I'm pretty sure that somebody brought artificial intelligence, you know, in the first couple of minutes, because it is something that we need to talk about, not just social media, but all these questions on the how. You know, we can speculate. And this is, I'll say, like one of the biggest mistakes some volunteers, some Rotarians made, and is that think for others, you know. For example, like, I think my club needs more social time, you know, or no, I think my district needs more training on Rotary matters. They should probably memorize the whole website. And yeah, that's what I think. So that's what we'll do. It's like, man, have you considered asking, you know, all your club or make a survey? Because it's really simple to do it nowadays, you know. What do they want? Where do they want to go? You know, and maybe that's where you should start from, you know, like where do we want to go as a club? And that how, okay, we have the information. We want to do this. We want to arrive to these people. We want to grow our club because we want to make this project huge, and we want to make new professionals, and we want to make Rotary this experience where young professionals start saying like, I want to be a Rotarian, because that's where you make like great businesses. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. I want to do business. I want to do service. I want to make new friends. You know, and that is Rotary, you know. So the how comes from membership leads and into artificial intelligence. I'll get to that into 1 minute, but sometimes there are some districts already at this moment that receive a lot of people through the program of membership leads. Membership leads is the people who sign in to get into our website, Rotary.org, and they fill this format, you know, that I want to know more about Rotary. There is the join button. They press it, and there's a whole formulary. They fill it up, and they press, I want to know more. And that information goes to a district, and supposedly a district leader in membership should assign that lead into a club. And nowadays, we are about 75% of these people who arrive globally, they don't hear anything from us. We don't even write them. We don't even email them. We don't even, well, we start doing some of those things because we were expecting the district to do it. So this, check this out, my friend. This is probably the most valuable information I'm going to deliver. So put attention on this. We will change the system, and this is happening. I cannot give you an exact date, but we are changing a system. And now the person, when they fill up the information, they will not go to the district. They will go directly to the club. So if I'm in Mexico and I'm living in Mexico City, I will only see Mexico City clubs. So, you know, I probably can click on that one and see their Facebook site and see what they're doing. And the more information, the more better decision I make, right? So they will arrive directly to the club. But guess what? What if a club doesn't want to receive leads? Because I truly believe that if a club is doing something that is actually working, bringing more members and keeping their members, man, I mean, don't try to change everything. If you're doing something that is working, actually bring it to us and teach us and tell us what you're doing that is actually working, you know? But in most cases, it's like, we don't know where to get. And that's why this program was born in 2015, I think, as a way to give Rotarians a way to receive people from the outside, you know? And maybe there are clubs who are starting to open to that possibility that there is very valuable people out there, and we just need to build that bridge to let them in. And it doesn't mean that we have to let everyone in, because let's be honest, not everyone has the profile or has the what it takes to be a Rotarian. And I guess the most difficult part to find right now is commitment. We live in an era in which everything is fast. The satisfaction is fast, you know? You have everything in seconds, you know? So how do we actually ask people to, hey, Rotary is a little more in the long-term relationship. It's a life experience. No, but I want it now, you know? So that is one of the most difficult things. So this opened an opportunity. Okay, so clubs can decide if they want to be listed or not. And that's okay, you know? And people go directly to the website, and they get to choose a club. So those are going to be the main changes in the system. And this might happen in the next 6 months, friends. I mean, we are in trials right now, trying it out and learning and trying to fix all the mistakes before we actually launch it. But this opens a great door. Imagine that you have on the internet, you use social media, to give voice to your club and start bringing people and sending them as membership leads, or to your Facebook Messenger, or whatever it is. But this opens a great opportunity because it will make the process a lot easier. And remember, we don't have to say yes to everyone, but we should filter. So sometimes it's where we get stuck is like, yes, Hugo, that sounds pretty simple. And you guys from the staff think that everything is done there. Well, I know it's not that easy. It's not that simple. But you know what? It is becoming more simple to find the right solutions. And that comes in artificial intelligence. It is amazing all the tasks that you can save your time from if you deliver it to artificial intelligence. So if you want to make a study on how many people around 35 to 45, well, first of all, let's define our target. Let's define our consumers. Who do we want to bring into our club? And maybe you say, well, we want men and women around 40 to 45 years old. Okay, so hey, ChatGPT or Stability or Crayon or Chatbot, what are they consuming? I want to know what they're consuming. I need to know what they're consuming because I want to get to them. Can you help me with a couple of posts, a couple of ideas on how to reach them? Is there a presential event in which they meet and we can go and put a booth, a virtual booth? How much should a questionnaire be long for? Like how much time before a person starts saying, oh, this is too much, I'll change it. How much time should a video, be due, and how much time we should make the videos long, because people get tired really fast, all these know-how things are already done by artificial intelligence, AI. So the possibilities, my friends, are infinite. The use of internet has changed so much, and it is transforming at this point. The way we use the internet is changing today through AI. So this is something that is becoming very attractive to young people, and not just young, to everyone, because we start realizing that the use of this technology might bring me up in my work, in my family. I mean, it is amazing. You just need to know how to ask to get the right answers, But my friends, please start considering on not just use it, but teach how to use it to others, and teach strategies that you learn from this. This thing will save us a lot of time, and it allows us to move faster. And guess what? At the end, people want to feel that they're doing something meaningful. So how do we get there, right? My friends, this is as long as I would love to open the mic and let's talk about it. Let's make 1 minute or 2 minute comments, questions, whatever you want. Here's a QR with my information. I work mainly with Americas, with Spanish-speaking countries. But I'm sure that if you have a question or if you want to know more about something or a resource that maybe Hugo, hey, guess what? You mentioned chess. There is a chess club that I'm working with, and I'm part of it. And it never occurred to me, why can we be a Rotary club as a chess club? And the goal and the pitch that you have to do is, where do you want to take a chess club to? Do you think chess is a game that will develop kids' minds, for example, or it actually helps critical thinking in people when they learn to play chess? Yes, of course. And I'm pretty sure if there's any of you who play chess, you will agree that, learning how to play and play frequently chess is a learning continuing experience, because it teaches you about strategy, about math, about long-term problem solving, So maybe we need to ask them is, where would you like to take this chess club to, And that's what this philanthropic part of Rotary comes in. yes, you already have the social part. We don't have to build it for you because you already have it. Maybe we need to start asking you, where do you want to go from this? And that's where you can be this small part of this machine that needs to be introduced to the machine and turn it over. So we start and start this engine going and become not just a chess club, but a chess club with meaning and with a cause. So my friends, thank you so much for your time. I know it's so late in some places. I hope I didn't go too long. And please let me know if you want to share something. If you have a question.
Those who intend to ask a question, please raise your hands. We'll unmute you. And thanks, Hugo, for a wonderful presentation. I think the members have very much shown interest and they were participating interactively in all your during your presentation. Just a request which I have received from most of the participants, if you can share this presentation, so we'll circulate it to the participants.
Sure, I'll give it to Letty, and Letty perhaps can.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a database in which everyone is, but I'll share my slides. No problem.
No problem. I will also share the YouTube link for this on the chat. So if somebody has missed something, they can check it out on the YouTube link. And Letty will share the YouTube link with you also. The YouTube link and the photographs.
Sure. I'll also look for the TED Talk about the person that I show there. It's pretty interesting to see it. If you want to watch it, if you have a couple of minutes to spare, I'll share it to Letty as well.
Anybody has any questions, please raise your hands. We'll unmute you and you can ask your question, please. Yeah, Vidya.
Yeah, hi. Mr. Hugo, just wanted to understand, we're talking about a lot of leverage of social media, especially AI and all of that. One of the things that came out of a lot of discussion with most of us who are in the range of 30 to 40, where we leverage already a lot of social media, there was this suggestion which came. I don't know if that's something that you could look at, is LinkedIn today is something which is, I think everybody is on LinkedIn. Is there a way for us to probably use some of our handles on the individual membership profile that we have for our Rotarians? Because then it's very easy for people to also connect on the professional note. Right now, when we look within our membership, we can only see a name and an email ID or a phone number, which isn't actually leading to anything meaningful, except that it's a database. Is there a way to incorporate that and probably bring in, because it's just a few additional data columns, but is there a way to incorporate that into our existing database, especially with respect to what we display on membership?
Yeah, I think, I mean, the internet is so broad and it's so big and it's like a whole universe, right? So we need to know what social media channel we need to use to get to the people we know. And we need to understand that the behavior on social media consumption and the age gaps of people consuming that is different from one country to another,
Absolutely.
and that is a reality. So I'm pretty sure that, and I'm LinkedIn as well, and I do see that LinkedIn will help Rotary on that professional growth part of it. Unfortunately, Vidya, many clubs are focusing on service, and that's nothing wrong with it. Don't take me wrong, okay? But what they're selling is that Rotary is a service organization. Rotary is a philanthropic organization. And guess what? Rotary didn't start with philanthropy. Paul Harris started as a networking movement. And he started asking their few friends that he had at that point, is like, what do you sell? What do you know? Who do you know? And he started connecting the dots and start benefiting from this relationship. So that is LinkedIn today,
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if there are any official channels of Rotary. I know there are a lot of people who are saying I'm a past governor. I know you can you can look for Rotary and you'll see a lot of Rotarians, but I'm not sure at this point if we have an official. I'm actually asking for a pilot to start Rotary accounts, kind of, because at the end, what you want to see is it an institution? Is it an organization? Is it a person? You know, we are defining also what is our presence going to be in LinkedIn at this point.
Right.
But if you type Rotary, I'm pretty sure you'll find a lot of staff, a lot of Rotary members that they don't just share their business, but also that they are Rotarians. So
Actually,
it is good.
What I was meaning to say is when we do our existing membership listing, we generally give our email ID and phone number. Is there a provision where we can put a field just to put the URL of the LinkedIn so that members within can
Okay.
go in and see? That's one. Another thing why this started was we were looking at a project in a quite a remote area, and there's only one ferry service which is available. And we were trying to explore this. It was very recently we got to know it's run by a Rotarian, but nobody knows about it. So that phase I meant.
BJ will be awesome. Honestly, I mean, I get you now. Yes, if you can look for something or a club or a person in our database as a district leader or whatever, at this point you only find email, phone, and probably the home address. You know, it will be amazing if we have more like LinkedIn or Instagram or get
Just
to
the
the right
URL
person
to
on the
take us
social
there.
media.
Yeah.
I will bring it up, of course, as staff, part of my job is also, to hear you and say, hey, this is a good idea, So I'm taking notes, Vidya. So I will bring that to my superiors, to my manager.
Because this was done in some of the chambers that we are part of. The minute this URL was added, it became faster for people to connect and actually serve the projects or serve each other. It became very fast. So that was just a suggestion from them.
Yeah, it is a great idea. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else with a question, a comment, a joke, All right. Okay, so from my side, Letty, that will be it. We will get in touch. Thank you so much for your time, and I was really happy to share with you. And please contact me for any help and further assistance that I can help you with.
Any further questions? Please raise your hands.
So that means that I made a wonderful presentation. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
indeed.
If there are no questions, it means that there are no.
No, and we are going
Just
to
kidding,
share
but-
the video. So we will take again your ideas. I have a lot of work with all this you presented.
Thank you so much, and it was really nice sharing with your friends.
I would like to thank you on behalf of ROTI as the chairman-elect and in the absence of our chairman David for accepting our invite and coming and giving us this beautiful presentation. As a mark of appreciation, we would like to present you this small token of gratitude. And this will be sent to you by email by Letitia. So
I love it.
It reads as Rotarians on the Internet Fellowship extends our gratitude to J Hugo Sancen, currently part of the RS staff, serving as Regional Membership Officer for Zones 23B and 25A, for the talk about increasing membership of Rotary, signed by David Robinet, Rotary Chair 2325, this today, June 21, 2025. This is for you, Hugo.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the gesture, and thanks so much for this. To me, it's really a first approach to Rotary Fellowship. So I'm really happy that you are my first approach, and thanks so much for this recognition. Appreciate it.
Can you share your email ID on the chat so members can benefit?
Sure. It was on the QR, but I will share Letty my social channels and stuff. But my mail is jose.sancen rotary.org. Voila. So please write me if I have a colleague and I have colleagues in different places of the world. I have a colleague in Australia, in India, in Denmark, in US, of course, in Brazil. So if you have a question or especially on membership or you need support, please let me know. If I'm not the person to help you, I will connect you or I will direct you to the right place.
That's
In
excellent.
In India, are they based in the Risao office?
Yes, I have a colleague. Her name is Riti. She is the RMO for that zone. So if you need any membership things or membership resources or a conference or whatever you need in India, and I think a couple of other countries, I think Pakistan. I'm not sure like her area, but she's based on the India office. So I'm pretty sure I can share her email. Just write me an email and I'll send it to her.
India office is in Delhi, so no problem.
Yeah.
And thank you for informing us that some change is coming out in the membership leads, because currently what happens is most of the time the membership leads go to the either the DMC or the DG, which are passed on to their favorite clubs, and it doesn't go to all the clubs and based on the needs actually. This is what is seen overall. So this change is a welcome move, and it would be appreciated. Thank you for informing. We look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Letitia, you can conclude.
Okay, so dear friend, thank you for your presence. So let's see you all in our next chat.
Our
Thank
next meeting will be on 8th of July with
Okay.
the incoming chair of Rotary ICC, Anne-Marie Mostert, coming in as a speaker to explain us about the Rotary ICC role. And then after that, we also have planned on the 9th of September. All the details will be posted on the Rotary website as well as on the Bread Basket newsletter that will be issued in July. So
Okay.
please look forward to it.
Thank you.